Well, if you had some internet delays earlier today, don't fault your service provider. They probably aren't to blame. Hackers targeting an internet watchdog group overloaded their servers, affecting internet users everywhere. So what does that all mean? We've invited Chester Wisniewski to come in. He's a security expert when it comes to the internet. And so these denial of service attacks, I know that various companies deal with them. Explain what's going on or likely going on right now with this one company.
Well, there's an organization in Europe that's, as you said, taken issue with an organization that helps fight spam. They identify where spammers are around the world and share that information with your service provider so they can block the spam from coming into your inbox. And they've kind of inadvertently crippled the internet, this attacker. They've generated so much traffic that they're trying to overwhelm this anti-spam organization that it's actually overwhelming all the internet routers all along the way from Europe all the way to this provider in the United States and causing global disruption to the internet.
So so what's going on here is because Entity A is angry at Entity B, they're flooding Entity B with all kinds of traffic on the web, trying to do what? Overwhelm their computer, shut them down, I guess.
Yeah, that's the denial of service part, right? Prevent them providing the services that they provide to their customers.
And is that actually having an impact on people who are trying to log in Toronto and Vancouver?
It can be to a degree. I was sharing the story earlier today that I was logging into Air Canada last weekend to print out my tickets to come home on my flight, and it was super, super slow. It was taking forever to get through. And you and I can actually end up being sort of innocent bystanders in this, in that I want to talk from, Austin, Texas to Toronto, and it turns out the pipes in the middle are so full of this garbage trying to attack this person that my traffic can't get through.
And you think that's what was going on when you had slow service from the Air Canada sort of computer link, is that it was this cyber attack that was affecting it?
Yeah, I can't prove it, but it's certainly, it's the type of things that people are reporting throughout the U.S. and Europe primarily are the most affected. I've actually just was talking to some colleagues in Australia. Very minimal impact down there, so it seems to mostly be a Europe, North America issue at the moment. But yeah, I think so. That's probably what it was.
As I understand it, various companies, banks in particular, are under attack almost every day. How concerned should we be about this?
Well, this is kind of an example of the aging architecture of the internet. Our internet was designed 30-some years ago for academics and researchers, and security wasn't a part of it. Everyone trusted everyone else. They were just sharing academic information. And now we've bolted e-commerce and entertainment and all these things that we depend on the internet every day for on top of that somewhat insecure framework. So this is probably the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this type of an attack's been predicted for upwards of 10 years. It's a bit surprising that we haven't seen one this big before, but now that it's been successful and getting so much attention, more criminals are likely to turn to this technique, and we may see a lot more of this.
But other than the possibility of my connection slowing down and the inconvenience, is there anything more to be worried about for me?
Not really. It doesn't compromise your security or your privacy in any way. It's not like online banking is unsafe. You may just have a difficulty connecting to your bank over the internet on occasion if you're caught in the crossfire.
And let's clarify this for people who are watching and may not be sure. This is not about hacking into computers. This is not about stealing passwords. This is just about trying to overload one company's internet with all these extra messages.
Yeah, it would be no different than 10,000 people picking up a telephone and calling some business so that nobody could get through and legitimately order a product.
So not a night perhaps to download movies at home if everything's a little bit slow.
Well, if your connection's working, go for it, but I've heard people are having trouble with Netflix, so maybe not.
Chester, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Chester Wisniewski is an internet security expert here in Vancouver.